siamo a un incontro per la nuova edizione del Festival Sguardi Altrove, il Festival di Cinema al Femminile, e oggi è con noi Hadas Ben Aroya, una giovane regista israeliana di cui presenteremo il suo film nella sezione Nuovi Sguardi. Il titolo è All Eyes of Me ed è stato presentato con successo alla Berlinale. Il tema relativo a dei giovani, diciamo un racconto, un ritratto di una generazione di giovani in Israele, però adesso lei ci racconterà la storia di questo film e tutte le ragioni per cui l'ha fatto. Non è il suo primo film, è il secondo, l'altro del 2016 che è That Are Not Me, e c'è un terzo progetto di cui ci racconterà. Welcome, Hadas. Nice to meet you. It's a great pleasure to have with us in our festival. So I want to start just with one question about you. Can you define your film with two sentences? Few sentences, then you can tell more things.
Wow, it's hard to
no, but
say
okay,
it into sentences. I will try. I think it's about people who are young people of Tel Aviv that are trying to feel intimacy in a world where intimacy is really hard to achieve, and with a main character who's going through 3 steps, 3 episodes. At the end, she understands that in order to find intimacy, she have to be vulnerable. So this is the, I would say this is what it's about.
I'm sorry. And the reason of this title is why we choose this title? What's meaning?
I felt it described this dissociation of people who are feeling disconnected from themselves, and how you're not connected to the others in a way, and how you tend to, when you're young and everything is not, and everything is allowed and nothing is tabooed anymore, then you tend to abuse words, abuse drugs, abuse sex, and everything just kind of is losing their meaning in a way. Nothing makes you excited. And so I think All Eyes of Me is kind of describing this sensation of feeling detached to yourself and to the world, not being seen.
Do you think this film, you haven't realized this film as a portrait of a generation? We can define that as a portrait as a generation, your generation.
Mm-hmm. Is that a question?
Is that a question?
Yes, I would say so. I think the film is going through, as I said, 3 steps, and it's kind of a funnel. The first episode is a really wild party where this young girl is looking for a guy that got her pregnant, and she's trying to tell him that she's pregnant of his child, but she cannot really say that. But at the other hand, you have this girl who's so openly about abortion, which is a topic which is, you know, it's very delicate, and she's talking about it as if she took her, her car to the, to fix the engine or something. I mean, like it is like in a way it's so liberal in the mind, but at the other way she cannot really talk about the thing that's in her heart, and everything is very chaotic, and everything is very detached. And then the second episode, you find the other girl in something more close with her boyfriend. You see Avishag, which is the protagonist. Now we can understand that. And she's trying to get closer to her partner, but she asks him to hit her. But when she's asking him to hit her during sex, she actually asking him to feel something, because she's kind of numbed. And so, but you are getting closer in this funnel, but it's still very apart. And then the last episode, she's finding this older guy who's very lonely, and he's ex-Orthodox, and he's so much different than her, but he can be vulnerable, and he can be very exposed with her in a way that she'd never experienced. And like in that part, it's like very intimate, and it's very close, and it's literally ending with silence, with like one tone and a silent scene, which is just the other, just so not like the opening part of the film.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that kind of quest that the heroine is going through, I think it kind of defined this portrait of a generation who's trying to find intimacy and trying to communicate, but has because of all this opportunity you have in a big city, kind of lost in it.
You think that the intimacy is more difficult to live and this is a reason of this film I have read, no? Because I think that another theme is the sexuality. We can tell that the sexuality and intimacy doesn't talk with each other. I think this is the reason why, no?
Yes, it's like sexuality for me is really a good tool, like a cinematic tool to show that how people are trying to be intimate with sex, but that is not getting them closer. It's even getting them apart. And just lying next to someone in silence is much more intimate and much more frightening. Like just being quiet is so much more, I think for my generation, just being silent with someone and like being with yourself and be present is much more frightening than having sex, like casual sex. And I don't believe that was the case in like with my parents, or let's say. I mean, like I think that for us it's super hard to just like not be cynical and not being outside of the situation and not try to, get stimulated by all these, experiences and just like be present. It's very hard to be silent and present and like.
Because one of the things that my generation told is for the love you need courage. So it's why it's quite difficult, not you think so. And this is but do you think that it is a portrait of the Israeli generation or for your generation?
I think it's like what I found out in my previous film, in People That Are Not Me. I was depicting this young woman's life, which was like I did it myself, like I was the actress as well, so I felt it was so personal. But then I found out it talks to people all over the world. I found out that the struggle as a young woman and is the same struggle mostly in big cities, I would say, but it's kind of the same, the loneliness and the relationships. And like I love how in cinema you can see the things that you will never talk about with your friend because it's too embarrassing, but then you can see it on a big screen, and it's So like this little intimate, embarrassing, awkward moments, I love them, and it's so human. So I would say it's not only Israel, it's all over. We're all humans at the end of the day.
Yes, and this film is you decided to do this film with a friend.
Yeah.
Yes. And then some actors are friends. So I read that it's not so easy to do the director, because you don't want to show too much, and you don't want to
To hide.
Esatto.
So yeah, well, while I was writing this script, we were really good friends, and like we talked about the script together. And at some point of the writing process, I understood that I want her to be the lead, and then I wrote it for her. So it was really easy. And while we were searching for the other actor for Max, she offered this guy that she knew was like an upcoming star in Israel. And she did not know him, but then we met him together and they become a couple in real life. And so it was really helpful. And then I met Hadar Katz, which is Dani from the first episode, and she's not an actress at all. She's a nurse, but I met her through the Leib, who's the new boyfriend of Elisheva. Like one brought the other, kind of like a pyramid. And then I met her and I wrote her a part as well. And so this casting process in this film was so bizarre, because I did not cast anyone. It just happened naturally, which is amazing, because now I'm casting for my new TV series in Israel, and we are in this process for 3 months, and we did not have casted a dog yet. Like it's so hard to find people that you want them to act in your film, in your script, and this was so easy. And also that made the whole process kind of easier, because they were in love, and like the sex scenes were not an issue for them, because they're a couple, so they're really enjoying, have sex without me, or and yeah, and so that was pretty easy in that sense. And but yeah, all the other crew members were not on set. It was only me and the DOP, and that gave me this freedom to really show and not hide, and to make them feel really comfortable. Because if the actor or actress doesn't feel comfortable, you can see it through screen. And that was a really gift for me, to have a real life couple that I really casted out, like regardless of them being a couple, and then it was on screen. So that was a really big gift from the world.
Okay, Hadas, you can tell us also for you. We have just 1 minute for your new project.
Okay, so I'm working, as I said, on a series in Israel that I'm writing and directing, and I'm gonna shoot it on January. This is really exciting. And after that, like just a couple of months later, I'm gonna shoot my third film, which is gonna be in Berlin, entirely shot in Berlin. It's gonna be a co-production, and yeah, super exciting time, very stressful, but I'm very excited.
And the issue is, the subject is?
What?
The subject is?
So it's kind of more or less the same. I would say like my series is about the Me Too movement, but like what happened after. I mean, how it became really hard for us to communicate, because we are so afraid all the time, like mostly guys, I would say, but like and it's about this affair that this young girl had with a much older man who is married. But the theme is about the Me Too movement, but in my my 2 cents on this. And the film is about this young girl who's going to Berlin to discover the city and fall in love with a poet, and they're going to this really crazy journey together. Yeah, it's more or less about these topics that I'm dealing with and like are meaningful to me at the moment.
Thank you, Hadas.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm very happy that the film is going to be presented in Italy in this wonderful festival that I read about, and I wish I was there.
Thank you. We hope to have the new one. So good luck.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.